Hey Internet, hey YouTube, this is Nate. You can also call me Nathan, but please never call me Nathaniel. And welcome to a guide on Reap builds in Monster Train with Wormkin. So we're going to start off talking a little bit about the theory around how Reap works. What are the different ways to generate Reap? What are the different ways to generate damage out of your Reap? And I think the music is a little bit too loud. And then we'll go into some like theory crafting, how to make the builds work, what makes Reap builds good, what makes bad, what are things to consider. And then we'll do an example run where we'll showcase some decision making throughout the run, as well as give an example of how to make Reap work in context of a Covenant 25 Last Divinity run. If you like this video, if you find it helpful, would appreciate a like. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. We are just on the cusp of 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate those that have been subscribing in the recent weeks. Hope you've been enjoying the content. Hope you are getting good use out of these kind of shorter style guides. And with that, let's just jump into it. We'll jump first into the logbook and just talk about how Reap works. So Reap is one of the new mechanics coming out of the Wormkin clan. If we search for Reap in here, these are all the spells that apply Reap. If I just hover one of them, you can see the text here. So Reap is a debuff. It's a debuff that has text, unit takes 1 damage per stack of charged echoes after combat ends and does not decrease. So unlike a lot of other debuffs, it does not matter how how long the unit has it. It's never going to decrease. So like if you consider it compared to like Sap or Frostbite, where they decrease naturally every turn, Reap is not going to do that. As well, it's contextual based on the number of charged echoes on the floor. So it's not total charged echoes in general, it's the number of charged echoes on the floor where the unit is, and the damage happens at the end of combat. So unlike Frostbite, where it's going to happen every single round if you're in relentless combat, it's only going to happen at the very, very end of combat one time per turn. So different ways to get Reap. You can apply Reap through spells. So you have the most common is Fracture. So Fracture is the starter card for standard Wormkin and is apply Reap 2. Then you can also apply it through some other spells. So Echo Snare, Soul Cripple, and Wormkin Spike. You can also get it from units. So you get it from the Kinhouse Pupa, who has a strike effect. Apply Reap to enemy units. You can also get it through its essence. Well, through the essence of the egg, I should say, is the same. You get the strike Reap effect from the essence. Glareminder, which is on Etch. So on Etch, Reap 2 to all enemy units on the floor. And Etch is when you play a consume card, apply the effect. And then Glugsider has it as a revenge effect. So every time a unit attacks Glugsider, or if Glugsider takes damage from any other method, so spikes, Frostbite if you happen to have it, or self-targeting Glugsider, then it will apply Reap to the entire floor of 5. The other way you can get Reap is through the champion upgrade path of the Spine Chief, which is the Decayer. So Decayer applies on Inspire. So Inspire is every time you play, or every time you generate a charged echo, do this effect. And Spine Chief then applies an amount of Reap depending on his the upgrade level. So just some things to think about with Reap in terms of interactions. So again, it's based on the number of charged echoes you have on the floor at the time that combat ends. So let me give you some specific examples. If you have the Corruptor, Spine Chief, Infector. Infector will continue to add charged echoes, meaning that if you have Reap on an enemy, and let's say it's a boss, and you're during relentless combat, you will continue to add charged echoes, And if then all of your units die, all the charged echoes you've built up above your standard amount of charged echoes will be considered for the reap damage. So Infector will in fact increase the number or the damage effect of reap at the end of combat as it's stacking up all these charged echoes. On the alternative side, if you have eggs, let me say shell instead. If you have eggs, also shattered shells in there for fun, they also consume charged echoes, and the order currently, and maybe this will get changed in the future, but as of today, April 30th, 2021, when so at the end of combat, your eggs will consume the charged echoes necessary to remove all shell and hatch, or all of them if there's not enough, before the reap effect. So what that means is that if you have an egg on the floor, you stack a lot of reap, all of the charged echoes will first get used to remove shell, and it could be that you don't do any reap damage at all. This is a very important consideration when doing egg builds. If you are relying on reap damage, just be aware that your eggs are going to steal the reap before the reap damage is applied. The exception, or it's going to steal the charged echoes before the reap damage is applied. The only exception are permanent charged echoes. So you can get permanent charged echoes. Let me just put echoes in here. You can get permanent charged echoes through Eternal Kinstone. And there's also an artifact that will put a permanent charged echo into the top floor. It is... where are you? Here, Encased Divinity. So these charged echoes will never go away. So even if your egg is consuming them, they'll still get the reap. They'll still be applied to do reap damage. There is one artifact which enhances your reap. That is the... no, actually, there's one that enhances your reap. This is the Decayed Decoy. So Decayed Decoy will apply an additional stack of reap each time it is applied. So it's not a double. It just means like if you apply 1 reap, you'll apply 2. If you apply 5 reap, so for example, you have Glugsider's Revenge Trigger will apply 6 instead of 5. So it just adds 1 additional 1 every time it's applied. Serrated Mandible is an effect where every time you add charged echoes, it's like an infusion. It's going to apply 1 reap to a random enemy unit 2 times. I think that means that it could be 2 different units or it could be the same unit. So similar to like Plink. It's like a Plink effect with reap instead of with damage. And I think that's probably it with regards to like reap and the mechanic and how it works. So again, you apply it to enemies. They will take damage every floor where there are charged echoes. The reap damage does not decay, so it stays. So then, for example, if you apply reap on the bottom floor, they'll take the bottom floor reap damage depending on the number of charged echoes, and then again on the middle floor, again on the top floor. You cannot apply charged echoes to your pyre floor, so that's the only floor where you can't do any reap damage. It's always at the end of the turn, and it's after eggs have taken charged echoes to use their... to apply their shell, or to remove shell. And just so you're also aware, if you're wondering how much damage you're going to do through reap, you can hover over the reap itself, the amount, the reap indicator, and it will tell you how much damage currently based on the current amount of charged echoes. So if you want to do like quick maths, you can just hover over that and it's going to tell you how much damage you're doing from reap. I'll show you that when we get into the actual run. Maybe some last considerations. Obviously, there's a little bit of... Maybe we talked a little bit about building for reap. There's a couple things to consider. One is extract cards are going to reduce the impact of your reap in general. That doesn't mean you can't play extract cards, because a lot of them are very, very good. So things like Force Contamination or Proclamation or Soul Crushing Guilt, which are like really, really fantastic cards. They do have a negative synergy with reap because they're going to steal away the charged echoes, meaning that your reap is going to do less damage. In addition, we talked about it a little bit, but eggs have a little bit of a negative synergy as well, because your eggs are going to steal the reap or steal the charged echoes before the reap goes off, lowering your overall reap damage. Similar to other things like Frostbite, to get the most value out of Reap, you typically want to apply it on lower floors so that you can get the Reap damage on every single floor. You don't have to do it that way, but that's often very common. Also note that similar to Frostbite, the Last Divinity's Purity effect will remove Reap. So when the Reap damage gets applied, it will, or when the Reap damage actually damages, it's going to then get removed. That doesn't happen if it doesn't do damage. So for example, if you have an egg build and you're stacking a bunch of Reap onto Last Divinity, but you have eggs stealing all the charged echoes, you can keep stacking Reap, and then it's only going to get removed after the first time it's actually applying damage. Just be aware about that. Is there anything else? Probably not. In terms of like how I view Reap, certainly there are builds that you can do that use Reap as like a relentless killer. So for example, you can do builds where you use Infector, you stack a lot of Reap, and then you just get tons of charged echoes and do a massive burst on them with a bunch of Reap. That is possible. I would not recommend this approach. I think it's less consistent than other types of builds. Where I like Reap a lot is in Decayer builds as a method of getting AoE. So Decayer applies it to the entire floor, similar with like Glugsider. Glugsiders also can do the same effect, but basically you use it just as a method of AoE, clearing backliners, clearing a lot of units. It's also pretty good as a flying boss health drain effect, because you can apply the Reap, the flying boss is going to keep it as it's moving around, and then it's going to slowly accumulate more and more Reap and just take damage as it goes through. And the other is Reap is really good at removing damage shields. It's really good at getting through spell shields, because Reap does not get affected by spell shields, similar to Frostbite. So it can be really good as like a targeted kill, right? You play one, for example, you play one Fracture on a backliner, and you have like 4 or 5 charged echoes. That's going to kill most backliners by itself. Certainly, you don't get the benefit that it kills it immediately, but if you, for example, are playing on like the top floor, you can use Fracture to prep enemies to die before they reach the top floor. So I would say these are like my preferred approaches are AoE, using Glugsider or using the Decayer, Spine Chief, or using it as a targeted kill or targeted damage shield remover on flying bosses and backliners. So that's what we're going to try to build today. We're going to try to build a deck around this idea of using either a Glugsider or a Decayer as an AoE kind of clear floor. And then we're going to try to support that with a strong frontline unit, or maybe even several frontline units that are going to be able to kill during Relentless, while the Spine Chief Decayer effect or a Glugsider Decayer effect takes care of all of the random units that are going to come through that don't have high health. So that's what we're going to go for. What I typically like with Reap is Awoken, because you can get Root Seeds, which is a really, really, really good enabler for a lot of the Wormkin stuff, because you get extra draw. Other ones that are quite good can be Endless units, so you can get it onto like Imps. These Queen's Implings can be quite good. Restore also works, so basically Awoken's pretty good in general. The Stygian Guard, Frozen Lance, tends to be pretty good. Foregone Power is kind of sketchy because you are losing a card, but can also work. But basically, spells, like cheap spells, tend to be really, really good with Inspire. So we're going to go with Root Seeds, which I think is the best setup for it, because you get the extra draw. So what's nice about this is that because you're taking kind of, hopefully, a sweep Decayer build, this is actually pretty good. Revenge of the Damned is not bad, especially if you can get it with Piercing. But anyway, because Spine Chief is kind of acting as AoE, you don't necessarily need to get a sweep unit, which is often like a staple of most Divinity builds, is you want to have something that's going to do really strong AoE. Sweep covers that pretty well. But in this particular setup, if we get Decayer, which we got, We don't necessarily need to get a sweep unit because the sweep will come from the reap effect. I think Split Anvil could be really strong here. We do have some 2-cost spells. Yeah, that seems okay. What also tends to work really well with Decayer builds is just really, really consistent Inspire effects. So we're going to try to take really good Inspire cards where we can. This should be fine. We're going to do a lot of damage very quickly. You'll see it stack up. Like once we get to 4 charged Echoes, like 2 Inspire effects is going to kill every single unit. Okay, so we're going to play Root Seeds, and immediately the 4 plus the 2 is going to be enough to kill them all. Plus the spikes is also helping, but let's play you here. And I think just Root Seeds you as well. And again, 2 Inspire effects is all we need to clear the entire floor. So 1 Inspire effect is all we need to clear the entire floor. We're going to start stacking onto the boss. He'll start taking a little bit of damage as he works his way up. But yeah, I mean, already we're killing him. You can, again, see how much Reap we're doing. If we just play Sharpen, we can play out all of our Root Seeds as well. And just, like, again, this is Ring 1. Ring 1, and we are doing 96 Reap damage. So even if our Spine Chief was dying, I mean, currently he's not, but even if he were dying, we would be doing 96 damage to the boss, which is really crazy. I mean, that's on all of them. 64 damage on each of them, and then 96 damage on the boss. That's crazy, right? Like, that's really, really, really strong for Ring 1 damage. Okay, so, I mean, Bounding Echoes is huge. Bounding Echoes gets us a lot of value. I do like Proclamation, but again, Extract cards tend to have, like, negative synergy, and Bounding Echoes is just, like, really solid as a way to get extra Echoes, or extra infusions onto other cards. I also really like the Wildwood Sap. Is that better than Steel Enhancer? I think so. I think Wildwood Sap could be really strong. So this is interesting. Steel Singer would be permanent growth, but we have no other heal effects currently. I think since we are going for infusions anyway, I'm a big fan of taking Keeper of Echoes. It's also a really good way to stack health and damage onto the Spine Chief. So we'll take Keeper of Echoes. We'll probably combine something onto it, maybe even this banner here. Let's check out what's in the shop first. I mean, Multi-Strike is probably going to go on the Keeper, but let's see what we get out of this banner. So Keeper on Keeper is really good, but also the Kinhost Vessel on the Keeper is very good. This applies even more Reap. It's not nearly as much as our Spine Chief is doing, though. So I think I'm going to just take this Keeper here. Give the one with Charged Echoes Multi-Strike, or the infused one Multi-Strike, and then we'll just merge it onto itself. And this is already very, very strong. Okay, this is fine. We have enough sustain with the Keeper by itself. So again, we're going to play on the top floor. I think we're going to probably put the Keeper in the back. It's going to do more damage. And then just, again, we can Reap this guy now. And this is the backline clear that I mentioned. So now he just dies. And now anyone that we use later is going to have the added effect of this extra charged echo. So now one would do 4 damage instead of just 2 damage. We can apply a Train Steward down here. We can kill a dude here. We can smack you. And then I think we Reap you. And I'm hopeful that we're going to get enough damage. We only have to Inspire a couple of times, so then, like, Wildwood Sap becomes really big. Root Seeds. And now he's dying. He's dying because he's taking 20 damage from Reap. We can pick off this backliner here. Seems pretty good. And how are we looking? Already fantastic, but just to show again, all that Reap damage. And even here, 56 Reap damage at the end of the turn. It's not bad. It's not bad. You're going to see the bigger impact once we start getting into later floors when it's more difficult for us to kill the front unit. I don't mind an Echo Infusion that has that replaces its own extract. I think that's absolutely fine. And Razor Sharp is great. Razor Sharp is actually, if we play this onto the Keeper of Echoes, it's +1 net, plus 10 damage. That's really strong. So far this is looking really solid. Let's check out this next, I mean, a second multi-strike is not bad at all. I think we take this, and we probably don't even take any other unit. Yeah, just take the money. And we would like Piercing. We got it. Get Piercing onto the Revenge of the Damned. This will clear all backliners, which is really, really strong. And then we just leave it like this. Like, this is already looking like a very, very, very potent deck. Holy crap. Now we can dupe the Keeper of Echoes, put 2 of them on the top floor without having to increase capacity. This deck just got really good really fast. Don't mind that at all. Yeah, dang, too bad it's a custom run. And we can start picking off these guys if we want. We could also start stacking onto the boss. We can do that here, so we can play the Wildwood Sap and the Root Seeds. So again, stacking just a little bit of Reap. He's going to take 12 damage from Reap here. It's not bad. And the nice thing is that we literally have to play 1 spell, and boom, get extra stats, play you as well, and this is looking really solid. Hey, this is fine. We kill the bomb, Echo Infuse, and then just apply Reap to the boss. Oh, actually, you know what? Apply Reap to you, so that we don't get the haste. And probably again, so this is sick, we get to play this, double Root Seeds, and Reap. And this is very solid. And he'll just continue to take a little bit of damage all the way up. We can... Oh, if we Roots... Watch this. We Root Seeds, kill it. Sick. It's not amazing, but it's like nice to just get it out of the deck, or get out of the way. And again, completely solid. We can play all of our spells. And at the end, after all the damage, and we're killing him because this Keeper of Echoes is actually insane. But 140 damage from Reap at the end. That's not bad. It's like an extra insurance in case our units actually can't get the kill. I don't like Echoes of the Past because it completely conflicts with what we're doing. Wormkin Spike would be okay if we had a consume thing, but I think we're just going to skip here. And I don't think we want any other units. We just want to keep rolling how we are. I do think we might want to take extra Ember in case we get both Keeper of Echoes in the opening turn. And then we'll take draw afterward. Let's upgrade double stack on the Wildwood Sap. Seems okay. I even would like remove consume from it if we could. What would we want to -1 on? I'm typically a big fan of -1 onto Root Seeds in general. So we'll just keep that trend. And you know what? I'm gonna re-roll if it's good. There's remove consume. So now we can take the Wildwood Sap, and it's gonna trigger Split Anvil. Go Decayer 2. And each level of Decayer, especially level rank 3 Decayer, is like a huge bonus. 5 Reap per play is really strong. We'll talk about the math after we're done with the run, but it gets really big. This should be fine. We kill almost everything on the floor that we're playing. These guys have 35 health. We get 35 health like almost instantly. We could even consider playing on the bottom here. I actually don't even hate this. Let's go you. Then Root Seeds. And Fracture would get us to 3 charged Echoes times 9, 11. It'd be 33 damage. 16. This is currently, the only damage we're taking is from this. I think this gets the kill. It's 1 charged echo for 6. It's perfect. Okay. Let's see. So we can play this first. That's always going to happen. Then we're probably going to fracture you. If we root seeds, oh my gosh! Like, look at that! Look at that AOE. 112 damage from Reap. Actually insane. Wow, that's so good. That's so good. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you get big numbers very quickly. How are we doing? We're already killing the boss, but why not kill the boss more? I know some people hate this, but I like it. Just to show off again. 171 damage. That's 1 turn. So we didn't have to stack this up across multiple floors. In 1 turn, with a rank 2 Spine Chief, 19 Reap, doing 171 damage. 135 on the front unit. It's just really, really strong. And I think there's just this misunderstanding about how to use Reap. That makes some people kind of avoid it. But if you use it right, it's like fantastic. Soul Siphon is very good. It's very, very good. If you can handle the Ember Drain, it's so strong. I'm gonna take it. Because it's a lot of charged echoes you can generate all at once. We gotta get it intrinsic though. That's the rule. But if it's intrinsic, then it's sick. I don't think we want this Pyre Shards though. I think we're good with the Sharpens. I mean, this, oh my gosh, Decay Decoy would be so good, but it's fine. We don't even need it. Like, it would be good. It would, like, push it over the top, but I think it's unnecessary. Here... Yeah, this is fine, because we can use Cursed Vines to pick off a lot of the units, reap the other ones, and I think we can sustain through this just fine because of the, because of our... Wildwood Sap. Okay, so you play Keeper of Echoes. You play this. Look at this. Look at this. Boom. Huge Inspire. And yeah, we do lose out a little bit, but like, this seems totally fine. Let's smack you, fracture you. That's already killing 2 of them. Okay, we really gotta get the regen, but so far it's okay. Let's start stacking Fracture. Root Seeds. And... You know what? I actually like bringing you to the front. We're not going to hit the backliner. We will with Reap, but that's with Reap. Like, I think we have time. Okay, this is fantastic. So we get to play you. You. Oh, crap. Played that wrong. We could have gotten an extra one in there. Give you another Reap. Hit you again. How are we looking? Okay, so we got to get a lot of Reap going. But I think we can do it. This is one of those turns where actually the Reap is going to become relevant. So Fracture, Root Seeds, Vine Grasp, Sharpen, and let's just clear this guy. And look at that. Dying to the Reap. And it's 216 damage that we're doing to him. Oh wait, no, he's not dying to the Reap anymore. We're just killing him. But still, it's sick. Yeah, this is fine. Light Skipped is great. Even more sustain. A second one of these does not make sense. Once you get full, you don't need to get full again. We'll skip. And we don't have currently intrinsic on this. We really need to get intrinsic on Soul Siphon. And Graft is great. It's a draw. It's another especially when it's infused like that. It's fantastic. We're going to go right past so we can remove our 2 Train Stewards. We will dupe the Keeper of Echoes. This is very interesting. But I think it's just draw. Just get the draw, keep it simple. somebody just subscribed. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for the subscription. We're definitely going to play Sunderstone. I wish I'd played this before we duped it, but it's fine. Like, obviously you're not always going to get keepers that are just incredibly strong like this, but like, yeah, I mean, this is kind of a nuts build, but this is not the first time I've gotten nuts builds with Decay. I think it's really, really strong. Okay. This is exactly why we took 4 Ember, was for turns like this. So we're going to play Spine Chief, Keeper, Keeper. It's too bad. We'll just smack you. Okay. Very cool. Then it's going to give us a lot of Ember Drain, but like watch their numbers. Boom. That's pretty good. Also just shows how good Multi-Strike and Keeper of Echoes is, but still. Stack onto you. Root. And pick off this guy. Play this. Look at that, 23 Reap for 184 damage. 26 Reap, by the way, was what we saw there. This is going to be really good. So we play you first. Play a 0 cost. This should affect the one that's drawn. Oh, it didn't matter anyway. And again, we're just counting the amount of Reap that we're getting here. 41, 44, 51, 54 Reap for 648 damage at the end of combat. I mean, this is kind of a weird one because this build is just so strong. But I think it's still, like you can see, even if we weren't just crushing it, the Reap is just really, really, really solid. We're going to take draw now. We could dupe and get another keeper, but I think it's unnecessary. Speaking of dupe, let's go left path. We still want intrinsic. No intrinsic. I guess we can make Revenge of the Damned better. It's fine. And then reduce. I mean, we could do this. Make it -1 as well. Just get extra spikes. -1 onto Razor Sharp first. Probably Wormkin consumable. We probably don't take it though. No. Do we have another dupe? We would. I guess we take it. I don't know. It means we can fit another keeper. It seems so unnecessary. But, I mean, why not, right? When you have a build that's just insane, why not make it more insane? Spikes 5 should be fine. And our man's dying before he even gets to a chance to attack, because it's 112 plus 300 plus 600. And also we can reap for a lot. I mean, we might as well do the whole thing. Why not? $33 reap for 264 damage at the end. So this build, I don't know if it shows off Reap so much as it shows how good Inspire is with Keeper of Echoes. But it's still fine. It's still fine. We probably don't need Soul Cripple. Could be interesting though. It's only one time though. I don't think we take it. Preserve Thorns is also kind of interesting, but again, I think we just skip here. And let's prep for final fights. We're gonna go left path. Probably gonna dupe the Keeper one more time. Let's see what we get for Divine Temple here. Another Spell Chain. I like Spell Chain on Engraft. Yeah. And then Trinkets. What do you got for us? Don't really need any of this. None of this either. I guess we just trim the deck. Even if it shows up late, like, it's still fine. We can double stack if we want the other sharpen. I guess that's fine. Make -1 onto one of them. Probably minus onto the other as well. Yeah, minus onto the other as well. We can permafrost. Basically, doesn't really matter. And then we can yeet out spells we don't want. We don't really want Hosting Kens. We don't really want... I think this is actually okay. I think we have everything we want. I guess we'll just take a trinket. Cheater's Hand. I mean, none of these are good, though. Just take it for fun, I guess. And let's go into the last fight. The only thing that could be concerning is the melee weakness. This could be an issue. We don't currently have a good way. What we could do is split up the floors, potentially. I guess we're going to go bottom floor because otherwise... No, we can't. We have to play top floor. Oh, this is incredibly awkward. He's going to do so much damage. So much damage. And I don't think we can out-heal it. Okay. Well, we're going to try. We're going to try. And just hit you for now. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm nervous about. Like, we just don't. Yeah, this is gonna be problematic. We could bring other dudes to the front though. That might be the way we do it. Is that we just keep trading damage. Play a Reap. So is there a way to keep you alive? I think the answer is probably not. So yeah, we're gonna probably drag one of these guys to the front. Space Prism. Engraft. Engraft. Bounding Echoes. I'm gonna Soul Siphon somewhere else instead. Sharpen. Sharpen. Reap. Reap. Root Seeds, and then we pull this guy forward. Okay. Then we get 2 turns. Basically, we get 2 turns to prep, and then we'll pull the other guy forward. And we just keep doing that over and over again. Did we run out of music? We ran out of music. All right. Let's see. What do we want to do here? We want to go Razor Sharp Edge into Vine Grasp into a Razor Sharp Edge into probably Wildwood on you. Just keep stacking everything. Okay, we're gonna get second melee weakness. We're gonna pull forward the other Keeper of Echoes. So put you here now. Get Engraft. Engraft. Then Root. Root. We could also just give you more Fractures as well. More Reap. Since we're already at maximum. And then we drag this one forward. Okay. 1708. With 1,000 of that coming from Reap. The next time Seraph comes up here, Seraph dies. So that's what we have to look forward to. Is that despite the fact we've had to kind of tiptoe around, like at the end, it's going to be just fine. Keep stacking. Root Seeds again. And Razor Sharp. Root Seeds. Root Seeds. Okay. And again, I'm pretty sure we're just killing here because of the Reap damage. So we play Engraft. Engraft. We're definitely going to bring this... And we can actually bring Spine Sheath back to the front now, if we want. And then we Wildwoods, and yeah, we're just crushing it. Look at this. Just stack, stack. $149. We're doing 1,937 damage from Reap. Crazy. Crazy. And let's finish it off with Divinity. Alright. So again, we're going to play top floor. This is actually great. Only issue could be that we draw both keepers next turn, but honestly, in general, this is totally fine. So we go 1, 2, this, root, and start picking on this guy. I guess I could start removing their damage shield. That might be important. So we only get 1. That's perfect. We just want the 1. Let's put this one closer to the front. We can go, I think, engraft here, engraft here. There's the second one. We'll play it in second position. Razor Sharp Edge, the healthiest one. This one probably. Root Seeds. And now, again, we get, each one of them is going to get 6 per Inspire, and he's going to get 3 per Inspire. That's going to help out a lot. Just remove more damage shield. So 6 per Inspire means we basically have to play, what is he doing? 11? 12. We have to play 2 Inspires, and we out-heal. So there's 1. Wait, how are they only, why is he only getting 4? Why are they only getting 4? +1, +1, +1, oh, they get 3, then +1. So they get 4 each time. Okay, so we have to play 3 Inspire effects every turn. So let's start with, I mean, Soul Siphon is really good. I'm gonna play it elsewhere though, play it here. We're gonna go 1. We can bop a dude. It's also an Inspire effect. I think this is a we get 2, or we only get 1. Let's wait. Let's wait on the Bounding Echoes until we get more value out of it. And again, we can just stack up on these guys. And Vine Grasp you. Okay. Okay, this is fantastic. So we get it on... Yeah, I think it's fine. We get it on the Revenge of the Damned. Revenge of the Damned. Sorry about that. A little bit of emotional feelings there. Pop this guy. Sick. We get to play this on you. And then we just start smacking fools. I think we just honestly hit Divinity. And then just grow, 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 reap, reap. And look at that. 484 reap damage onto Last Divinity. That's half of the damage, more than half of the damage he's taking is from reap. Okay, so go heal, heal, razor sharp edge, razor sharp edge, razor sharp edge, contrition, root seeds, vine grass spew just in case, but honestly we're gonna crush it here. 1072, 1209. That's almost half of his health left. And none of them are helping with the reap. It's just the decayer. This is just damage from decayer. Okay, so we play 1, 2, 3. We can crush this guy. 4. Razor sharp. And we're killing it. Look at that. Love to see it. Flying kill. 624 damage from Reap. This guy almost gets killed just from the Reap damage. Okay, so this build was over the top. To be fair, this was over the top. But I think you can still see, like, you don't need that many Inspire effects to already start stacking a ton of damage. So let's talk numbers. At rank 3, Decayer does 5 Reap per Inspire. So let's imagine that you have 4 Reap per turn. So on average, you're doing 4 Inspire effects per turn. That means you're adding 4 Charged Echoes. Assuming you start with your base of 4, you're going to have 8 Charged Echoes total. So you're going to apply 4 times. That's 20 Reap to all enemy units times 8. So base, if you're just inspiring 4 times per turn, you're doing 160 AoE. If you make that 5, just by adding 1 more Inspire effect, then you're getting 25 Reap onto all enemy units, and you have 9 Charged Echoes. That's 225 damage AoE. It really gets insane. Glugsider is very similar. If you have a way to just damage Glugsider, so if you have like Torch, or if you have even putting a Reap effect onto Glugsider, so he reaps himself, it's kind of scary, but still you can get a lot of damage just from like hitting him and getting revenge triggers. Or if he just takes, 3 or 4 hits, he's gonna do that same amount of Reap to the whole floor. So that's kind of my recommendation. Go for this kind of AoE effect oriented Reap build. Use it as a way to clear backliners, use it as a way to get extra damage onto flying bosses. And I think you're gonna find that it's actually quite strong as long as you're getting fairly consistent Inspire effects and you kind of go a little bit all in on this Reap effect. But anyway, this has been Nate. You can also call me Nathan. Please never call me Nathaniel. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this guide on how I would recommend building a Reap deck. And if you did, please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.